This Friday is hard to figure out, but the Cowboys,
They did what?
made the biggest trade in Dallas this year and the dumbest trade in Dallas this year.
Wow. So the Luka trade better than the Micah Parsons
That's
trade.
a good debate for Dallas. In Chicago, I think all you're worried about is now that you have Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Micah Parsons is going to be lined up opposite those left tackles we were sifting through yesterday. And the singer that you heard was Theo Benedict, the left tackle of the future, who now, future got a lot more complicated with Micah Parsons now north of the Cheddar Curtain, as Dustin would say, and he is a Packer for the foreseeable future. Look who just took the North.
You have done a great job of checking out, researching the number, I believe it is 5, of the rookie left tackles that will be starting this year. Can you go back and find the 5 guys that started the year before? Because could you get one?
Who did they replace?
Whoever it is.
That's not a bad exercise.
Whoever it is.
Well, by December, which is when the Bears will play the Packers, maybe that would be a little bit more.
16,
it will be maybe clearer, right? They may have somebody solidified that spot by then. If not, then it'll be a long season anyway. But, boy, that was a huge shocker. I think we talked about it yesterday during the Pick Six, right? That was one of the questions.
There was a photo of him at O'Hare.
Yes. I think that was what sparked some of the speculation. Also, just, you know how these things work. The agents have to get involved. And there was smoke, and then the fire came yesterday afternoon. And we thought possibly there was some speculation the Bears would get involved. I think that was more wishful thinking than anything. But I really don't know. Jerry Jones made this sound like a football decision, and it was almost insulting to everyone's football intelligence that he tried to make it sound like the Cowboys were really trying to stop the run better.
Yeah, that was just mindless. I'm sure Flusy is very excited this morning. He's got a run stuffer.
Matt Eberflus loses to Green Bay again.
Well, I mean, oh boy. That happened quite a bit when he was here, so why not?
What's Dustin looking at me like that for?
With Lee Corso going out this week, not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend.
So the Cowboys won the deal.
I didn't say that. You know who won? I know we're going to talk about this. We were a little tease for picks. You know who? There was one winner.
Okay.
Micah Parsons. Or as Adam Schefter, I learned the news from Adam Schefter. We learn a lot of our news. If you go back, and it's still up there if you want to have some fun, and it's been pointed out many times by you and by me that I am one of the world's worst spellers. Adam Schefter tweeted out, Micah Packers has been traded to the Packers. So it happens, right? It happens. But how hilarious is that? Micah Packers traded to the Packers is the first tweet on that story.
He became the franchise yesterday.
But he's not. He's somebody whose name I will not bring up unless you guys decide to bring it up. I will not. But somebody that I really respect in this business, and I respect their opinions. This is not Reggie White. Micah Parsons.
I would disagree with you. And
fair, but he's not. It's not. This is not Reggie White. This is not Reggie White. Reggie White. Micah Parsons couldn't hold Reggie White's Bible. Okay?
Dustin, you can't say that yet. You have
I
a
just
20.
Did.
Well, then
5:36 in the morning on Friday.
Well, you're definitive about something you can't be definitive about. You're talking about a 26-year-old player who, by any objective measure, is one of the top 3 impact players in the NFL. He is entering his prime. When they got Reggie White, he was established. And at the point they did that, yes, that defined free agency, and it put the Packers over the top. You can't sit here and say that's not an apt comparison.
I mean, Micah Parsons is 26, and you got 4 years of him, and he can get another massive contract after those 4 years. I mean, Reggie, they are different body shapes. Reggie's like a bigger man. Maybe he played longer than Micah Parsons, who's kind of a quick twitch athlete. But you got potentially, Dustin, a a defensive player of the year.
The game is different now. Reggie White was locked in as an edge rusher. We put him wherever, but he was a guy put his hand in the dirt, and he kind of came from the same spot.
Yes,
and he was overpowering.
He was overpowering. He had the. He had that move. I mean, he would lift men off the ground with that club.
Micah Parsons is a different style player, but he moves around, and he's versatile. And Jerry Jones, the biggest insult yesterday was not the trade itself. It was hearing Jerry Jones try to describe Micah Parsons as a one-dimensional player.
That's ridiculous.
He stops the run, he gets to the quarterback, and he runs down people.
He does not stop the run.
He makes plays.
He makes plays.
Everywhere he's at on the field, Dustin.
He makes plays.
Don't pretend like this isn't a big deal.
Name three.
Nobody said it wasn't a big deal.
Name 3 defensive players that are better than Micah Parsons in the NFL.
What has he been to? He's 26. He's
26 years old.
4 Pro Bowls. I mean, he's like every year he's like a top defensive player of the year candidate.
Should we just go with outside? Should we just go with outside guys or overall?
That's the thing about it, Dustin. You can't just reduce Micah Parsons to an outside guy. He may come at you from over center. He can be moved around. Matt Eberflus is having a bad day if he slept it all last night. Because now he lost all the versatility.
Because he runs a cover 2, which relies on what? 4 men up front pressuring the quarterback. You got a guy who steps on the field and pressures the quarterback.
Jerry said they'll out-scheme him. Jerry said they'll out-scheme him.
Jerry's talking.
Jerry wouldn't know football if you explained it to him.
And he's trying to sell a deal that he can't justify.
He's trying to act like he's pulled a Jimmy and he's traded again. You got 2 late-round draft picks and a 30-year-old obese man. I love Kenny Clark. He's a monster. But let's be honest.
He's not going to be there that long. You want to talk about a comparison that isn't fair and accurate, is that calling this the second coming of the Herschel Walker trade.
That's what I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
That is an absolute. Do you go look at what they got for Herschel Walker?
Look at what it changed the 90s and what they got for Herschel Walker.
And they had recruited every player out of college. They knew everybody coming out.
Yeah.
Look what they drafted as a result of the Herschel Walker deal. This is now Jerry, added a couple of late round picks. What is Jerry doing?
But even beyond just the comparisons to the past, whether or not you want to debate the Reggie White comparison or look at the Herschel Walker history, it's all about the future. And the future now says the Packers are positioned to be at the top of the division for years to come.
Jerry got mad and he got hurt because he thought he negotiated a deal with the player himself.
Michael?
Yes.
Michael? He called him the wrong name. How do we remember who he negotiated with? He can't even get his name right.
His name is Micah Packers. And he negotiated a deal with him. Oh, I'll pay you this kind of money and we'll do that. Okay, yeah. Well, you talk to my guy. Then everybody gets paid, and all of a sudden the deal he thought he was negotiating is obsolete. And the agent, who's awesome, he comes in and is like, no, he's going to get paid this, and the other. You shouldn't be negotiating with the player. That's not how it's done.
No,
and
you're exactly right.
Angry or hurt as a result of that, that's insane.
That's letting the emotions dictate and guide you through a negotiation that you really botched.
I had a handshake deal with him. No, you didn't.
So what we have here is a very similar situation. You want to make a comparison. I'll go back to 2018. The Packers wanted Khalil Mack badly. The Bears realized that, swooped in and got him. The Packers felt like, oh my gosh, the Bears got Khalil Mack. That's going to be a problem. And for 2018, it was.
It was a problem.
It was a problem. Khalil Mack changed the Bears' season, and the Bears didn't do a good job of making and taking advantage and making the most of those years for Khalil Mack. And now, Bears fans feel the way Packers fans felt Labor Day weekend 2018. On the outside looking in, not necessarily the one that got away, but you do wonder if the Packers were involved, why weren't the Bears?
And I mean, really, if you had given too much money to defensive ends again, offer both of them in a trade.
Yeah, right.
But just really quick, in all seriousness, so let's just try to compare what the Cowboys gave up and what the Bears. So Would you this morning have been okay with the $188 million contract, somewhere between 120 and 136, fully guaranteed, Andrew Billings and the next two number ones?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Without question.
Andrew Billings is not as good as
I know, but
people say
that's the best interior defensive lineman the Bears have.
People have
another
said
obese 30-year-old.
People have said that the Bears are not Micah Parsons away from the Super Bowl, and for this season, that's correct. But how do you get to the Super Bowl? You get a 26-year-old in his prime, and you get him in your building and organization, and you may not be in a Super Bowl this year, but you're in a better position to contend for one next year if you got Micah Parsons. So that to me is an empty excuse.
Yeah, I mean, it's I tell you what, just if you're burning jerseys in Dallas, now you're spoiled for choice.
You're right. That's so true. That's so true.
The other thing now, so the Packers are the second choice, according to Circus Sports Illinois. They are the second choice now in the NFC. Eagles, Packers. Eagles are the only ones with shorter odds.
It shifts the balance of power. That's respect for the player, that people understand how he can change games. He's a game wrecker. And the Packers just got better on the defensive side of the ball. Jordan Love is better because he's going to have a guy who changes them defensively.
Yes,
it takes the pressure off the quarterback.
That helps the offense,
and
you get a good pass rusher, and that's field position, and that's turnovers, and that's huge.
The Packers got bold. They're going for it. They're going for it this year.
They're a lot better this morning than they were yesterday.
Yes, and I think you can look at those two draft picks, and you're exactly right, and that's the way to interpret it. They're going to be good enough to where those are going to be somewhere between maybe 25 and 32.
Yes.
Lower first-round draft picks, and Kenny Clark, who is a 3-time Pro Bowler, but how many more Pro Bowls does he have left in his future?
And, he's getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make a decision on him year by year. Again, listen, Kenny Clark has ruined the Bears. He's a really good player, and he's always played well against the Bears. And he's pancaked plenty of a guy trying to block him. I mean, he's just a immovable force. But you're never going to trade a pass rusher like Micah Parsons for an interior guy. And you're never going to worry about stopping the run over getting to the passer. It's crazy.
It reflects the lack of recognition for the way the game has changed.
Yes, I agree.
You look at what positions and what type of players get rewarded in today's NFL. And you begin with edge rushers and cornerbacks. You look at quarterbacks, and they're in a class by themselves. And then you look at wide receivers that now have taken that step, more important than running backs. To value a defensive lineman to the extent that Jerry Jones spoke, it sounds like he would pay a running back too, because these are dated concepts. It's an old-fashioned way of looking at football. Micah Parsons is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. You can use him in so many different ways. He makes you versatile, and he makes you more dangerous.
Yeah, he's a really good player. There's no doubt about it. And there's a certain shock factor that you did something like that. And I get it. People are saying things like fire the general manager down there. The guy owns the team. There's not a lot you can do.
He owns a team. He can do what he wants. Yeah. And if he wants to wreck it, it's his team to wreck.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's just –
but it is so amusing from afar, because you mentioned the burning of the jerseys. That picture with Luka and Micah exchanging jerseys in Dallas less than a year ago, or whenever that was taken.
It's crazy.
It's got to be painful for a Dallas sports fan.
Yeah, I don't care about the Dallas sports fan. I mean, it just doesn't resonate for me. But I mean, it's true. If you were like, we know kids love sports and they love to look up to their heroes and stuff. And that's rough.
That was only a reference geographically. I think it's tough enough to be a Chicago sports fan this morning.
Well, that's it.
You watch
this left tackle nonsense go on forever, and now they just got Micah Parsons.
They got Micah Parsons.
Wow.
Theo Benedict. Did he see the news? Are we sure he's not in Canada? He fled there. I can't block him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you're a Bears would-be left tackle, that damages your hamstrings.
It does. Oh, man.
I hurt in the hamstring.
Suddenly, Braxton Jones is limping more noticeably now.
I got to tell you, the Bears have enough problems without the Packers getting better.
But they have until December to figure this out. Maybe Micah Parsons will be hurt by then.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, 1,000 things will happen.
A lot could happen between now and then.
But
Joe Thuney could be manning the position.
Well, I mean, that's the break in case of emergency, right?
If you had to play the Packers in week 1, and you wanted to put your best blocker on their game wrecker, how would you line up if you're the Bears?
Yeah.
Either you would line up a tight end next to Braxton Jones as often as possible, or you would move Joe Thuney, your most reliable blocker, out there.
Are there any left tackles holding out? Is there any trade to be made? That's how you would handle that. Look, it's hardly ideal.
You do wonder how this affects.
You got enough problems with them lining up against the Vikings. Now let's see what happens. Did the Packers jump the Lions? They jumped everyone else. It's going to be interesting. I'm talking about odds to win the division.
Well, odds to win the division now. You got the Packers at the top. They're the favorite.
Yep.
This is the toughest division in football. It was arguably that before this trade. It certainly is that now. You've got the Lions, the Vikings, and now the Packers, who were favored. And then there are the Bears. So this does make it feel like they locked the door to the NFC North basement. And the Bears are down there pounding, pounding, pounding.